Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Stephanie Vaquer defeated Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile in a triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank to take the last spot.
The Judgment Day defeat the War Raiders.
Jey Uso and Sami Zayn beat Bronson, Breaker and Reed via disqualification.
Kairi Sane defeated Raquel Rodriguez.
And Grande Americano defeated CM Punk and AJ Styles in a triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank to also take the last spot. Now, if you would like to know how that transpired,
Zayn teases title shot.
Kross tries to tease out Sami's dark side.
And Lyra is turning Hulk.
What, Hogan?
No, Banner.
So, we kick off with CM Punk, who says he's going to win Money in the Bank. He calls The Rock a goof, Cena a little pitch, and then says he'll see us later for his match. Before he's able to leave the ring though, Sami Zayn heads out. Zayn tells Punk that he must win tonight, adding he wants him to win. Zayn then alludes to Punk that should he win the Money in the Bank match and successfully cash in, then the two will have a different kind of conversation in the ring. So, reading between the lines, Sami wants a title shot if Punk gets his hands on the belt. And that is a lot of ifs.
Well, that is a lot of ifs. Backstage, Roxanne Perez offers Liv Morgan help if she requires it, with Liv saying she can help by staying out of the way. Morgan then heads off for a match and comes across Io Sky. Liv, of course, says she's going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on her, with Sky saying it's not going to happen.
Just before the first match, we have a vignette from Stephanie Vaquer in which she says she's here to dominate now that she's on Raw. Now I feel this would have been more appropriate to show on last week's Raw rather than squeezing it in right before her match.
Yeah. So, Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer and Ivy Nile in a triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Vaquer dishes out the devil kiss equally to both her opponents, with Liv then introducing her to three friends, the Amigos. Nile then makes herself known with a double German suplex just as we hit a break. We come back from the break with Vaquer in control and attempting a pin on Nile, which Morgan breaks up on two.
We get the standard double move in the corner, powerbomb superplex, and then cover from Nile on Vaquer, but only for two, before Morgan hits a super code breaker on both women and covers the pair. Of course, they kick out. Vaquer then suffers another code breaker, followed by Oblivion, but when Liv goes for the cover, Nile pulls her out the ring and covers Vaquer herself. Morgan just about makes it back into the ring to break the cover on two.
Nile and Morgan end up brawling outside the ring, with Nile besting Morgan and throwing her into the ring steps, allowing Ivy to make her way back into the ring and straight into an SVB from Vaquer. Stephanie then covers the American-made member and qualifies for the Money in the Bank match after the 1-2-3.
Backstage we see AJ Styles readying for his upcoming match when Paul Heyman shows his face. Heyman wishes Styles a happy birthday and then tells him to forget Money in the Bank and concentrate on Dominic Mysterio in the Intercontinental Championship instead. Styles says he ain't buying what Heyman's selling and doesn't like being threatened before heading off.
We have a vignette from Rusev next, aiming a threat at Sheamus. And when he's done, we join Sheamus speaking with 2/3 of Alpha Academy and Natalya. Sheamus tells them that they have heart when Kathy Kelly approaches, looking for a comment from the Irishman. She asks him why he got involved in Rusev's match last week, with Sheamus basically saying that he doesn't like Rusev picking on guys half his size, clearly forgetting that he faced Otis, who's pretty much the same size, in his first match back. Anyway, Sheamus finishes off by saying he bullies bullies.
And if you're getting bullied, go and speak to somebody about it and get it dealt with. Anyway, next up, the Judgment Day's Finn Bálor and JD McDonagh versus the War Raiders, with a New Day at ringside. Of course, nothing's going to happen. The most exciting thing to happen before the break, though, was Ivar threatening to throw JD into the New Day, which caused Xavier Woods to fall from his chair. This action provoked the New Day to go after the Raiders, but the referee intervened and ejected the tag champs from ringside.
Back from the break, we see the Raiders dominate the Judgment Day until JD grabs Eric's leg and stops the Raiders from hitting War Machine. The tables turn with Bálor shotgun drop kicking Ivar and then looking for the coup de grace, but he misses, with Ivar then splatting Finn and looking for a moonsault. As Ivar is about to launch, Roxanne Perez appears on the apron, with the referee then ordering her down and away. With this distraction, McDonagh slams Ivar's head into the ring post, which sends him crashing into the mat. Bálor then climbs the ropes, lands the coup de grace, covers and picks up the win for the Judgment Day.
Anybody but the Raiders. We hear from Becky Lynch via a vignette next, saying that every glimpse of greatness in Valkyria's career has been down to her.
We then catch up with Stephanie Vaquer, who's with Kathy Kelly. Kelly congratulates Vaquer for winning her match, adding she's now going to WrestleMania, before correcting herself and saying Money in the Bank. Kelly asks how she's feeling towards Saturday, with the Chilean answering in Spanish. As she's speaking, Rhea Ripley walks up, shakes her hand and says she'll see her Saturday.
Kelly, a massive fan of WrestleMania,
Yeah,
just
loves it.
absolutely loves it. Lyra Valkyria heads to the ring next and calls out Lynch so she can say what she has to say to her face. Becky answers the call and heads to the ring, where Lyra says she's now angry, and you won't like her when she's angry. But she didn't actually say that last bit, but she is angry anyway. Lyra says she's going to beat Lynch at Money in the Bank. Lynch fires back and then leaves the ring, but Lyra wants to fight now. Lynch turns her down, saying she will see her Saturday, and then heads up the rampway. Lyra chases after her, where the two then come to blows, only for backstage hands to ultimately separate them. Boo.
Penta says he's going to win Money in the Bank. Well, I think he did anyway. Most of his vignette was in Spanish.
Out next, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn teaming up against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. The heels dominate the opening portion of the match, exchanging tags and beating both faces until Zayn manages a tornado DDT to Reed and gets the tag to Jey. Jey gets a 2 count cover off a super kick and then tries a choke on the dog, only for Reed to break it up with a senton. Sami sends the baddies out the ring and then tries a crossbody, only Team Heel catch him. So Jey decides to dive out the ring, which works, sending everyone crashing to the floor. The match then ends as Seth Rollins heads out and stomps Jey.
The New Alliance take it out of Sami, with Reed looking to flatten Zayn on the announcer's table. Just as he's about to launch though, Punk appears armed with a chair and cracks Breakker across the back before dealing with Reed and getting on the apron. Punk and Rollins stare at one another before Punk enters the ring, with Rollins hightailing it out. We end with the two groups staring at one another.
Backstage in the JD den, and Liv tells Finn she can see what he's up to regarding Perez, with Finn saying that Liv's frustrated and that she can trust Dom after all the shoulder rubs and nuggets from last week. Liv says it's not Dom she doesn't trust. Bálor suggests Perez should be in Raquel's corner later when she has her match, with Morgan saying no, she'll be in Raquel's corner, with her and Big Mommy Cool then heading off. Dom then asks Finn if everything's alright, with Finn saying yes. Dom then apologises for the hospital pass with a cheer from last week. If you don't know what that means, go Google it, with Bálor telling Dom not to worry about it.
Raquel Rodriguez versus Kairi Sane, with Morgan in Raquel's corner. We end up outside the ring with Rodriguez slamming Sane into the apron and then sliding back into the ring. As she does, Morgan gets a cheap shot in on Sane, with Rodriguez then heading back out to throw Sane back in the ring and cover for 2. It's a pretty standard match where nothing in particular happens until Sane climbs the top rope and Morgan gets on the apron.
This triggers a run out by Sky, with her and Morgan then going at it on the rampway. Sane then smashes Rodriguez's head into the ring post, drops an insane elbow and follows up with a cover for the win. Now I did notice that Liv was bleeding from a cut. She has been in the wars as of late, and she's suffered again.
Backstage, Sami Zayn is being tended to when Karrion Kross makes an appearance.
He's still there.
Zayn asks why he's hovering over him, with Kross claiming Zayn's lying to himself. Kross says Sami is not a good guy and that he's a bad guy, just like the rest of us. Sami says he's wrong, with Kross saying he might be wrong, but he might be right too.
We see Gunther and Jey having a chat next, with Gunther saying he's going to take the title and end the party. Jey responds by saying 3 letters, 1 word, tap. He's got plumbing issues.
Last match of the night, CM Punk versus AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano in the last triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank. El Chad gets tossed out the ring, leaving Punk and Styles to go at it. It's not the most exhilarating of matches, as we hit a break and come back to Styles back suplexing Grande from the top rope. Americano crossbodies Punk from the top rope, with Punk rolling through and looking for a GTS, only for Styles to stop it and hit a twin DDT, 1 normal, 1 inverted.
Gable gets Punk in the ankle lock, only for Punk to roll through, sending Americano into a Styles clash, with AJ then covering the luchador for 2, as Punk broke the pin. After another cover of 2 by Punk on Styles, we get a moonsault on Styles and cover for 2 by Chad, followed by another moonsault and miss by Chad, with Punk then GTSing the Vaquer and covering for 2. Gable didn't kick out though, nor did Styles break the pin. Breaker pulled Punk from the ring.
Bronson then beat on the straight edge superstar, with Sami and Jey then heading out for the save. Styles then took everyone out by jumping over the top rope, but while doing so, Americano seemed to be fiddling with his mask. Styles got back on the apron and went looking for the phenomenal forearm, but all he found was the head of Americano, who stuck one on him and knocked him down to the mat. Grande then covered Styles and picked up the win.
Nice. Good on you, Americano. Seth then came out with he and Punk going at it in the ring until Punk was speared by Breaker. Zayn attacked Bron, with Reed then attacking Zayn. Sami then got Bronson and then suffered a stomp, with Punk also suffering the same fate. Jey tries to make a comeback, but the numbers are too great, with him also suffering a stomp as well as 2 tsunamis. Raw goes off the air with the baddies once again posing for the cameras and standing triumphantly over their quarry. This is not looking good for Jey at Money in the Bank and his tag match. Or Saturday night's main event, as Gunther did say when they were talking in the locker room.
Yeah.
Gunther was like, hey Jey,
what?
You got your Saturday night main event coming up. Jey's like, no
what?
I haven't. Well done Gunther. No. Anyway, that's by the by. Yeah, Jey's not... I mean, I can't see Jey losing on Monday anyway. To Gunther. He ain't going to be losing the title on Raw.
No,
surely
I
not.
so. No, but he is going to be, because obviously...
There'll be interference.
I think, as Gunther said,
I don't think he'll
he's
finish
come out
clean.
to help them. Then he's got his match. And then he's facing Gunther, so he's going to be like banged up. That's what he was...
And it wouldn't surprise me if Seth and Bronson were there to mess Jey up a little bit more.
Yeah, no, yeah, fair enough,
For
yeah.
Money in the Bank.
I can't believe...
Mind you, Seth's there anyway, because he's obviously Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
If that's before their match, that tag match, won't Seth come out? Seth come out and cash in. And then it'll be... Yeah, because but the thing is they won't, because they've already said it's Jey Gunther.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't they? It's already been pushed.
This is true.
But why why wouldn't Seth be like,
Gunther did say whoever is champ originally, because obviously it was
he did.
Other match.
I can't see Seth getting Money in the Bank though. That will be too much power. I think what they're doing at the moment is fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to give them everything because if the Money in the Bank goes to somebody else, that involves them in the story.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth and his gang are already involved in the story as it is. You don't need any more pushing. They're already up there.
Yeah.
What was you going to say? Sorry.
I can't believe El Chad
Oh wow!
getting in a match there.
I know.
I was like, it won't be not because he's not good.
No, he's just
but
that you'd have
just
thought,
because he is against
it'd have been
Punk and Styles. I was like, if anyone, it's going to be Punk, and then your second choice would usually be Styles. So.
Well, no, I
to
agree.
Have him, like,
it was like, was it the one on SmackDown? We said, we thought Jacob Fatu would.
Yes. Yeah.
Would win, and obviously he didn't.
No.
Which was a bit of a surprise because you thought he's the
like
bigger name of the three.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go.
Any thoughts or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them in that comment section down below.
If you did watch, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you Wednesday for a look at this past week in WWE and Thursday for our Money in the Bank predictions.